Hey y'all, hey, I am back. I'm back with another video. So, y'all know y'all know I use this channel to sometimes talk about the Joe Budden podcast and stuff. I told y'all he is probably the most problematic person that I actually follow. But, we're here to talk about the backlash so far to the JBPs, mostly Joe, on the Diddy situation. So, if you don't know, or if you've been under a rock, today is Saturday, May 18th. So, yesterday, Friday, May 17th, a video was put out by CNN that they obtained. And it was a video taken at the Intercontinental Hotel in California. And in the video, you can see Cassie walking to an elevator. And you can see her, she doesn't have any shoes on. She gets to the elevator, she tries to put on her shoes. Then there's another cut, you see Diddy with just a towel on. He's running down the hallway and he, catches up to her and he does things to her that he didn't need to do. He yanks her, he kicks her, he punches her, he throws a glass vase towards her. Everything that was claimed in her actual lawsuit, because I read the whole lawsuit, it didn't match up exactly, but that's fine. It matched up enough. We got it. So, I'm here to specifically talk about, so again, today is Saturday. Now, I'm going to say this before I actually go into it. I did not expect Joe and them to speak about what happened because I know that the pods that they drop on Saturday, I have a Patreon, so I haven't really paid attention to YouTube in a while, but I guess now they drop on YouTube on Sundays, but on Patreon, they drop on Saturdays. I do know that when they drop their Patreons on the weekend, they always record Friday. And I know that because when music and stuff like that comes out, they always come and say, it's a Friday, music just came out, we don't know. So in our reality, I didn't even expect them to talk about it at all, because I don't know when they record versus when the video actually dropped, right? So it was said, though, a lot of people was listening this morning and was upset that it wasn't brought up. I wasn't upset about that because, like I said, I figured they just wasn't able to get to it with the time that they recorded. Somebody then took a screenshot of the description, where it kind of lists the timestamps of what they're talking about, and it showed that originally at the very end they did have, I guess, a conversation about it, but then that part was, I guess, edited out and taken out. Now, what I'm going to play right now is from a Twitter Spaces, I think that Joe did today. And this is about him not talking about the Puff situation. And I'm going to stop this a few times so we can go over some of these things. So let's start this up. Let's back this up for a second. Okay. Wait. Hold on, y'all. 1 second because it's connected to my daggone headphones. Okay. Ready?
On a serious note, though, you don't see how your silence on this topic is a large part of the reason why abuse continues to take place from people of power religiously. Because it's like people who have these relationships, people who actually know what's going on, they are afraid to actually speak on it because of that. You don't see that being a real thing?
I see that's a real thing. What does that have to do with me?
It has everything to do with you. You
What?
have one of the largest platforms, period. Not just hip hop, but one of the largest platforms, period. But specifically when it comes to hip hop, and then you have Diddy, who's made his name there, and your voice, the loudest voice in hip hop, is just silent on it. And it's been silent. And I can see if this was a one-time thing, but anytime something with Diddy has come up, there's always been some excuse. It's like, oh no, we got to paywall this. Oh, no, we got to wait till all the evidence comes out. Oh, no, we can't do it. It's always something, one thing after another, where it's like you treat him like the boogeyman. And I'm waiting for the Joe I know to find his courage to speak on it. Because I saw how you addressed the Duce Palooza conversation years ago.
Strong message. All right. You can think it's nuts.
Pause. Okay. So you see how that person clearly and articulately laid out what the problem is and why people have a problem? And all he could say was, Okay, all right. You niggas is crazy. Because, see, you don't really have anything to say in response to that. Because everything that man just said is the majority, not all of it, but a lot of the reasons why people are calling you out. This is not the first time. Now, again, I'll give them a little bit of grace because I know that it just happened, right? Which he'll talk about in a second. But the problem here, Joe, is that there is now a pattern when it comes to specifically Diddy of you being real funny style about how you talk about everything that has come up when it's about him. Like that young man just said, either A, it's, oh, we're gonna put it behind a paywall. B, I just rewatched something where I forgot about this episode when everything had happened, how you wanted to play the game of, I just find it funny now all of a sudden everybody want to hear from me. Y'all don't even want to hear music text. That's nice. Flip it on us. Flip it now on us that we are now wrong for wanting to hear your thoughts on it. Now flip that and make the audience wrong, right? Like that young man said, it has been multiple times at this point that when it comes to Diddy, for whatever reason, and you could just be real and say that you have a friendship with him and that you're not going to do that. But he did not say that when I finished playing this clip. You do not keep the same energy for Diddy that you do for other people is really the main problem here. Like that man said, you yourself, Joe, say all the time, I'm the biggest hip hop platform. I'm one of the biggest platforms, period. And you talk about how strong and how powerful your voice is. As many people don't like Joe, a lot of people still do watch his podcast and listen and tune into what he has to say. And people really wouldn't be on your ass so much about it now if from the beginning you was keeping the same energy like you do for everybody else. So, for example, we just went through this whole thing with the Drake and Kendrick, right? And as much as Joe wants to make it seem like he wasn't planting seeds, you've been planting seeds for years now. 4 years now. And specifically recently that Drake likes to mess with young women, young, and sometimes even girls at that. And I mean girls, I mean like 17, 18, 19, 20, like around that, 18, 19, 20. That's been the narrative that you've been pushing. There's somebody who stitched a whole bunch of clips together of you alluding to that. So let's start there. You also, during the whole Megan and Tory situation, jumped out of the window multiple times to cape for Tory and to call Megan a fucking liar. Multiple times. To the point where Tory is calling you while he's in jail. Okay? So we find it interesting that you want to cherry pick who you want to call out and who you don't want to call out when it comes to certain allegations. But when it comes to Diddy, you normally don't have anything to say, or you don't have much to say at all. And it's not consistent. That's the problem, Joe. If you want to know what everybody's problem is, it's the lack of consistency. You don't keep the same energy for him that you do with everybody else. And that's why everyone's saying that you must be on his payroll or that there's something going on. Because why is it that you're so loud and boisterous about everybody else and everybody else's claims and all it could be the smallest allegations. It could barely be substantiated and you will go on a whole tirade about it. You went on a whole tirade when the Little Rod lawsuit came out going towards Diddy. And you did a whole thing about that. Now, let's finish this video, right, before I keep going in. But I just wanted to say that all Joe could say is that the fans are stupid because that man literally said everything correct.
Who else we got? Come on, somebody say something, goddamn.
And then for you to say, oh, okay, who else got something to say? Because the thing about it is you did not answer anything that he said. You asked him, why do you feel like that? Or why does it have to do with me? He literally explained articulately and clearly why. And your answer to that was, okay, all right. Who's next? Because you don't have an answer.
Yo, do you guys ever just think that everything is not this deep conspiracy that y'all want it to be?
Let me speak to that. I don't necessarily think, I do think that there are some people who thinks that there's a deep conspiracy about it. I don't think that it's a deep conspiracy. I believe that, number one, you are friends, maybe not now, but you were friends with Puff as well as having business ties business ties to him, so you didn't want to call him out. And most importantly, like, okay, we're gonna keep going.
We were dead in the middle of our broadcast yesterday. Come on, I'll put the suspense to bed. We were in the middle of our show when that news broke. So we spoke about it for 4 minutes, and then at the end, before sleepers, we spoke about it for another 4 minutes, and then we went on about our day. And I went outside with Amani last night, and he said to me, "Hey man, I think y'all should readdress the Puff shit."
Shout out to Imani. Because, see, Imani is needed on this show because I really do think Imani does a great job of him. Because he wasn't necessarily on the show, he does a great job of looking at it from the viewer's point of view. But continue.
Because y'all going to get killed. And I said, why? The story was breaking. We addressed it. He said, yeah, but it wasn't the address. It wasn't the address that is appropriate.
Correct.
For what happened.
Correct.
I said, why you say that? We did what we needed to do. He said, yeah, but I know y'all audience, and it was breaking in the moment. They wait from y'all. So I took it out. Because it was insensitive for the moment. It was talking for 4 minutes about what happened, and in 3 minutes at the end is not the attention that the story needs.
That is correct.
And it ain't the commentary that it needs. So I don't need to be the first one to run to something.
And I'm not mad at that either.
We're going to get to it on Wednesday. But what do that have to do with the way y'all are speaking in this moment? Why do y'all think, after seeing a video like that somebody is running from a topic? Like I done told y'all the last time, I have absolutely zero ties with Diddy or anybody Diddy related outside of seeing his kids when I'm outside. Why do y'all think that somebody's scared to approach something? You niggas have been sounding stupid all morning long, and I didn't want it to continue all the way in the afternoon. So here we are. But some of y'all niggas, y'all are relating this stuff to like battle rap. Y'all talking about Drake. Like, what are y'all doing? Get a grip. Get a grip.
I'll tell you, I just told you how it's related to Drake. It's because of the fact that you've been using the narrative and pushing the narrative that Drake likes to mess with young girls. Although it's very hypocritical because you were doing the same thing, which is why people called your ass out about it when you initially brought it up. That's why Drake has something. I don't know what else everybody else is saying and tagging you, but to me, that's where Drake comes in. You just spent about a month and some change, because this whole thing with Drake and everybody has been about a month. But for the last month and some change, specifically the last 2 to 3 weeks, you've been on Drake's ass about how inappropriate, literally spending 2 to 3 hour pods on conjecture. Mind you, conjecture. Things that you may have heard. But when it comes to stuff that actually comes out in lawsuits and actual people making claims, you have normally little to nothing to say. The fact that you even thought before Imani brought it up that you spending 4, maybe 8 minutes at the most on this topic is insane. It's insane. And again, somebody had commented in the Twitter like what more do y'all want him to say about it? Y'all want him to talk about it for 2+ hours? No. We want him to keep the same energy. Like somebody said, if you can talk about Mel and her damn heels and Mel and her wig and how bad it is for 30 damn minutes, then you can take more than 8 minutes to discuss something like this. That's what we're talking about.
Relax. Go outside. Kiss your family. Let me bring some more of these people up here. You niggas are fucking nuts.
And yet again, insulting the audience. Insulting the audience that actually supports you. Insulting the audience that actually pays for stuff when it comes to you. Insulting the audience that actually uplifts you. Yes, sometimes the fans and audience do a whole lot, and that's across the board with any platform. Sometimes they do a lot and they want more from you than you're even able to give or want to give, and that's fine. But again, the problem here, Joe, is your lack of consistency across the board when it comes to people. So let's reel it back for a second with Drake, right? Because I have Google right here, right? You have brought up multiple times, and you even said it in one of your last videos, how when you were the age of Drake, and Drake is, how old is Drake? Drake is, let's see, Drake's age. He is 37 years old, okay? And you said, when somebody brought up, because I think Ish was the one who brought it up, saying like, why are we all around here acting like when we were in our 30s and stuff like that, we wasn't making the type of decisions that he was making, that we wasn't doing things that was, might have seemed like maybe not the best or whatever. And Ish didn't want to say it, but y'all was talking to young girls at the time. Why are y'all doing that? And Imani said, well, no, that's not true, because I wasn't making the same mistakes at 37 that at 37 than I was, in my 20s or whatever. And Joe second that. Okay, let's give, so Drake is 37 years old. And one thing that everybody brought up, which is a fact, is your baby mother, aka Sin Santana. So let's talk about how old is Sin? Sin Santana's age. Sin is 31 years old. Okay? Sin is 31 today. Joe, I believe is like 42 or 43. It's 43, right? So 31 and 43. That's about a 12-year age difference, right? But be clear, she's just now turning 30 because she's only 31. How old is Joe Budden's son? Joe Budden's son age. And we're talking about with Lex. With Lex. How old is his son? So he was born in 2019. So he's like 4, about to be 5, right? He's 4, about to be 5. So if we do the math on that, right? 31, take away 5, that would lean her to be about 26 when she got pregnant, Joe. 26 when she got pregnant, 37, 38, 39, 44, 43. But that actually works out perfect. So when you had your second child, right? You were 37 years old, the same age that Drake is. And your baby mom at that time was 26 years old. Meaning, and we all know for a fact that Joe and Sin was together before she was pregnant, a while before she was pregnant. Meaning you were definitely in your late 30s talking to somebody that was under the age of 25, but you want to sit on your platform and talk about somebody else in their age. This is the hypocrisy that we're pointing out, Joe. That's what we're talking about. Y'all is crazy. Are we really crazy? We're just pointing out the hypocrisy and the stuff that you do. Okay, so although you were pretty much the same age as Drake, messing with young women that were a decade plus younger than you. But you have everything in the world to say about him. Back to the allegations. So you want to now go on your platform and accuse and allege a lot of things about Drake, right? And spend all this time on that. But when it comes to Diddy, where is the same energy? If you can take 20 to 30 minutes to 2 hours, however long, to go off about that, then why can't we keep the same energy? That's what we're talking about. Instead of calling us crazy, how about you stop and do some reflection? Like I said, the fact that Imani even had to say to you that was not enough time and you thought that it was says enough. It says enough. You spent hours on hours breaking down and pause for weeks, for years at this point, actually, trying to discredit Megan Thee Stallion. Without even knowing the charges, mind you, without having any information and not reading none of the damn charges, but you had all this shit to say about Megan. But once we actually start to have people actually making statements, we have lawsuits, we have things being rated, we now have a video. Oh, mum's the word. Now we want to be careful about what we say and we got to edit it out. Now that's what we got to do. That is the problem, Joseph. If you're not understanding, that's what the problem is. You don't keep the same energy for Diddy that you do with other people. And that's nothing that anybody is making up. That is looking at the lay of the land. And people are bringing up Drake because you just finished doing that with Drake. You just spent weeks talking about him and his alleged things when technically nobody ever came out and said anything. There are no lawsuits. People are going off of a text message that this man sent and something that happened when he was 23, 24 years old. Not to excuse it, but I'm just saying that's the evidence that we have. And you took that and ran with it. But we have all of this evidence against Diddy, and you normally don't have much to say, or you want to edit shit out and take it out. Or, like the guy said, you want to put it behind the paywall. It's not us that's losing our minds, Joe. It's not us. All we're asking, like that man said, is we're looking for the Joe. If you really want to talk about it, and I said this in my videos before, when I was talking about his critique of Nicki. And throughout this whole thing with Kendrick and Drake, I've just found it real interesting that things that could have been said about Nicki, you didn't say about her, but you're now saying about Drake. And I could do a whole separate video of a list of laundries of things that you didn't say shit about her when she did it, but now you got something to say about somebody else. It ain't being the same. So, when he said in maybe like another episode, oh, why is it not that I'm the person? Why is it not I'm the person? Okay, as I said this before, Joe, a lot of people really started to listen to you, myself included, because of the fact that you did have ties in the industry. Now, you may have not been friends with everyone, but you had insight and you had ties to people in the industry as a former rapper. And not only that, but you were not afraid to say what the hell was going on. Whether you agreed or you didn't agree, whether somebody liked what you said or didn't, you were going to say it. That's why people are coming to you and listening to your platform, to hear somebody that they thought was going to give the unadulterated truth about something, regardless of their ties to the industry. Did you do that? Have you done that in the past? No. Not when it comes to Diddy, you haven't. You've done it with everybody else except this man. Nobody is making that up. I want to stitch together so badly clips of things that shows that when it comes to him, you dip and you dodge. That is a fact. So instead of sitting on your spaces and calling us, the audience, that we're crazy and we're delusional and we're insane, how about you just do your fucking job? How about you do your job and actually report on shit and give that shit the same fervor and energy and everything that you do to everything else? It's your platform. You're right. So you can pick and choose what you decide to talk about and what you don't talk about. But best to believe it kills your credibility with the audience. That's why you need to address it. Because it takes away your credibility as a potter when you do shit like that. That's why. So, to sum this all up for Joe, I don't know if somebody wants to clip this part right here and send it to him, what I'm about to say going forward. This is why people are upset. You don't keep the same energy for Diddy like you do with other people. You're very hypocritical in the things that you decide to talk about and not talk about. That's what it is. And you were known as someone that was going to tell the truth to the truth, regardless of how people looked at you. That's why. And as I said before, I know why he don't want it. It's the same thing. I don't know if y'all ever paid attention to this, but there was an episode when they were talking about possibly bringing Chris Brown up on the show, right, for an interview. And Joe literally said, it's something that I want to do, but I'm not about to even touch that with a 10-foot pole. And a lot of people on the cast was like, well, why not? Well, why not? He was like, because you know how that's going to go. Exactly. You're very aware. You know, if you bring Chris Brown up on your platform, some people won't. A lot of people probably won't care. But you're going to have a lot of people that say, oh, of course, two abusers. Abuser and abuser, of course. And he doesn't want that type of scrutiny. I ain't mad at it. Do what you got to do. But it is also very obvious that outside of the fact that you may have worked with Diddy or whatever, and you might have hung out with him, I think the most blatant, obvious thing here is that you have been accused of DV. So you really don't want to touch it too much, because you know that Diddy has both the power and the pull to really lay all your shit out on Front Street. If not even just him, anybody could do that if they really wanted to. That's why I just wish he would be real and say, I don't feel like doing that. I don't really want to talk about it too much. because I got to sweep my own porch. Whether you did it or not, you still have allegations. That to me is the real reason he ain't talking about it. But I find it interesting, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people do, that you'll tiptoe around this DV, but not some of the others. So that's why it looks funny style to us in the light. We're not all losing our mind. That's all I got. That's all I got to say. I don't like when people try to do that. Like, yes, sometimes the audience does do too much. And sometimes the fans, like even the people that watch my stuff, sometimes in the past people have done way too much in my comments. And I've had to block people before. But this is a valid critique. And the fact that that man literally explained flat out why it's even dangerous about the fact that you don't speak up and that you don't do anything, you don't say anything. And to be clear, it's not just Joe. We just talk about Joe because he the one, like somebody said, with the biggest platform. But Charlamagne does the same thing. Same thing. A lot of y'all niggas do the same thing. But the fact that that man clearly laid out why that's an issue and all you could do was laugh and say, okay, it's because you don't really have an answer to that. You don't. You can't come up with an excuse and you can't come up with an answer. So all you can do is tell the rest of us that we're crazy. I'm going to be patient, though. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see what happens on Wednesday pod. I'm going to see if they really give it the attention that it deserves. I want to see if Joe's going to go on there and drag the audience like he likes to do when we're calling him out for things. We'll see. I'm hoping, because I'll say this. One thing about Queen's Flip, he gets on my nerves for real on the show, but I will give him this. He is one of the few people on the show that is not afraid, and I mean on the show. I don't know what people say to Joe outside of the show, but Queen's Flip has no problem addressing and pointing out the hypocrisy of Joe on the show. And he a lot of times talks from like the fans' point of view, but in general. So for example, when he brought up like the whole, when they was talking about Kendrick and Drake and even the age thing, Flip is the one who brought up the fact that Joe, is kind of crazy for you to be talking about somebody having dealing with girls that's young, but you have a history of that. And then he tried to feel, oh no, I never said, I didn't care about that, but you harped on it forever. The same way he said, Flip was like, and Ice admitted it too, and Imani did too, like, you have a bias towards Drake. Like it's very obvious whose side that you're on. That's why people can't take what you're saying, because you are being very obvious on giving Kendrick's little tidbits to say about Drake, but you're not doing the same thing on the other side. That's very obvious that you're being blatant in your bias. Oh no, I'm not. You are. So maybe Flip will call him out again. Maybe he'll call his own self out again. But that's all I really wanted to say. Y'all know how I be coming about this shit. This should be getting on my damn nerves. But y'all get in the comments and tell me what y'all think. I'm out. Bye.